Okay, so today we're going to discuss 3.4, Virginia's influence. The objective for today is, in what ways did the state of Virginia influence the documents that ended up shaping our nation? We're going to start off today's lesson by talking about some important figures that dealt with both Virginia, but also just the U.S. Constitution in general. It's a good way to review, and yes, you should write all these down. So first was George Washington. George Washington, being from Virginia, was the leader of the Constitutional Convention, also an Army general, and in addition to that, he was also ended up being elected the very first president. James Madison, another Virginian, you're going to need to know him for the SOL, was the father of the Constitution. We have Madison, or JMU, James Madison University, named after him, and he was the father of the Constitution. So he wrote the Constitution. Next, we have Alexander Hamilton. He was not a Virginian. However, he was very important in the establishment of our financial institutions in this country. He favored a strong national government and was extremely influential. He did eventually die by being shot in a duel with Aaron Burr. George Mason, another Virginian, so George Mason University. He wrote the Virginia Declaration of Rights, which we're going to talk about today. You are going to need to know that. Make sure you write that down. He was the author of the Virginia Declaration of Rights. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom, two very important documents. He was also from Virginia. Patrick Henry, another Virginian, was known for the famous quote, "Give me liberty or give me death." Fun fact about Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry ended up having issues with constipation and went to the doctor, and the doctor told him to drink liquid mercury. Liquid mercury is the metal that is inside of a thermometer. And those of you that know, mercury is extremely poisonous. And so the doctors prescribed mercury because it's heavy, and they thought that if he drank it, it would cause the mercury to push everything out and allow him to go to the bathroom. But what they did not realize was that it's extremely poisonous. And so they had him drink the mercury, and he died of mercury poisoning. The two most influential documents from Virginia's history is the Virginia Declaration of Rights, which was written by George Mason in 1776. This protected the Virginians' basic liberties, so things like religion, or freedom of religion, but also freedom of speech. And this document influenced the Bill of Rights and is part of the reason as to why our Bill of Rights looks the way it does today. The second document that was extremely influential for our country was the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom. So before we declared our independence, Virginia was controlled, people in Virginia were forced to be part of the Church of England. And that was the church that they were a part of. And so after they declared their independence, Thomas Jefferson wrote the Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom, which allowed for religious freedom in the state of Virginia. This also, again, helped spread the idea of religious freedom, as well as influence the Bill of Rights and your right to religious freedom.